Who's reading the entire Quran front to back. And Quran chapter 33 is by far the weirdest thing I have ever read. In Quran chapter 33, Muhammad has an adopted son named Zaid, and Zaid has a wife named Zainab. And Muhammad thinks that Zainab is very, very attracted. And one night, he accidentally walks in on Zainab changing and decides that this is a sign from Allah that he needs to marry Zainab. Seriously, he says, I walked in and saw her changing, and she's so beautiful that means I have to marry her. So Muhammad arranges himself to marry Zainab, but all the other Muslims at the time were like, whoa, is that okay to do? Because at the time, they viewed an adopted son as just your regular son. So marrying your adopted son's ex-wife would be like marrying your daughter. It was a super weird thing to do. And all the Muslims recognized that, and they were like, yo, Muhammad, what's going on? So Muhammad says this was actually a sign of Allah, because I know that all of you were wondering if it was okay to marry your adopted son's ex-wife. So Allah sent me to marry my adopted son's ex-wife so that everyone here would know that that's okay. Now, it kind of seems to me like Allah could have just said that it was okay to marry your adopted son's ex-wife instead of making Muhammad do it, but I guess that's just me. But anyways, all the Muslims were super confused by this because they thought that this was a form of incest. Like, how could you marry your adopted son's ex-wife? So briefly after, Muhammad also says that Allah is now outlawing anyone from having an adopted son, and that you can take care of other children, but you can never adopt them. But keep in mind, right before this, Allah sent Muhammad so that he could marry his adopted son's ex-wife so that everybody could know that that's okay. But now Allah is saying that you can't even have an adopted son in the first place, so why did he tell everyone through Muhammad that it was okay to marry your adopted son's ex-wife? I don't know. Maybe there is a Muslim who knows more about this story than I do, but it definitely seems like Muhammad might have just been making stuff up so that he could marry someone who he found attractive. I don't know. God bless, guys.